Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for my 200th side project, and this time I'm insulting the ARPG and Roguelike genre. Every single game dev YouTuber do roguelike projects for their potentially small scope and replayability. But my game is totally different and unique, with no borrowed mechanics, I swear. I started working on this just to get my game dev momentum going again, and oh boy, I got addicted. First thing off was making my first 3D character ever, cause modeling can't be that bad, right? Cause modeling can't be that bad, right? Am I a fucking joke to you? I spent 3 hours and ended up with this, and honestly I'm pretty happy over the result. It's not much, but now this is the actual result, but don't laugh, cause this guy is no joke. I think we'll call him Rick. So after spending like 2 hours rigging and skinning Ricky Boy, I threw him into Unity only to realize that his feet were pointing backwards, so I had to redo everything. Eventually I got it to work and Rick was ready to hit the club. At this point I honestly had no idea of what to do with the project, but I figured some magic could never go wrong. So I made a wand that doesn't even really look like a wand. Why is this so hard? I worked long and hard on some animations for the game, as I believe in doing everything from scratch. Honestly, any developer who steals art should be ashamed of themselves and demote themselves off the game developer title. Anyways, that was all I did for day 1 of the game. Still day 1, time to make some Billy's pan pizza. Those who know, they know. And then it's fine. It's like a brick. It's frozen. So I'm just waiting for my pizza now, and I'm like thinking to myself what I want to do with the game tomorrow. Now I think one of the big things I want to focus on is maybe adding like a lot of abilities and making some environment changes and stuff, get the combat right. But yeah, I don't know how much time I'm gonna have, but I'm hoping for the best. Yo, something I've always wondered about microwaves is that, like, when they have this net thingy, if you look right here, it's all like pixelated almost, IRL pixelated. But if you do this, you get like a super clear view of what's inside. 3, 2, 1, done. 3, 2, 1. I know there is a way to mask animations in Unity to make the upper body do something while the character keeps running and stuff. Alright, this seems pretty straightforward. Let's just see what happens if we just... Rick was flapping around his arm, and honestly I'll take it. That's probably as good as it's gonna get. Then it was time to steal some more assets for the new projectile. God bless all the homies making free stuff, I owe you one. Actually, scrap it, I'm kind enough to use your art, so you owe me one. It was finally time to start working on the rooms, but I decided not to do procedural generation for the prototype, so I just threw together some assets forming a small arena, and I also added some grass into Unity with a terrain system, but for some reason I have this hole under the camera, which is probably because it can't look at the grass from top down. I don't know, it's driving me crazy. I wrote a question on the Unity help forums, 0 replies. I've given up on it, I don't know, maybe I'll revisit in the future, but right now I don't even want to look at it, even though I have to look at it all of the time when I'm working with it. Blah, 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 blah. Enemy time. Yes, the enemy is the same model as the player with some unnoticeable tweaks and a Giga Chad chin. What are you gonna do about it? At this point, the enemy was looking hella fresh with his stylish walk and smacking animation. So I thought, what's a better use of time than to implement combat so that we can de-exist him. After this stage I started feeling that spark, you know the game dev spark, the juice, the coffee kick, the 2012 Katy Perry. Things were moving forward. I had momentum. I was speed. I knew this was the right moment to start working on the abilities and the core gameplay. After all, I was unstoppable. After a trillion crashes, there it was, the bouncy boy. I was euphoric. Finally it was working. And just a few minutes later, there was the second ability, piercing, which combined with the bounce felt absolutely incredible. Luckily, I had encountered 0 bugs so far. Everything was going smoothly. I then added a burn effect, which makes enemies catch on fire once you hit them, an AoE effect, which hits nearby mobs to your original target, and lastly, a fire trail, which follows the projectile and damages enemies inside. I added some hit splats because you can never ever get enough feedback in games. I realized I had to get the core loop solid for the game in order to get a real feel for it. So I started working on some crucial components to allow for testing. In order to unlock these spell effects for your projectile, you need to do something. I don't know what that something is just yet, but I found some pretty sick loot beams I could use and have enemies just drop them randomly for now. Hi bro. Yeah, no, I can't really right now. I'm working on the game. Yeah, no, I can't. I'm working on the game. What do you mean waste of time? Dude, no, bro, you just don't understand. This is something only game devs understand. Like, I'm in the zone right now. Like, my motivation is like up here. My quality of life is like down here. What do you mean you can't see my hand? No, but listen, just give me a week to finish up this Hello? Hello? I started working on an experience and level system, which I also have no idea what to do with, but it just felt like the game needed it, and I can probably tie some sick progression mechanics to it later on. And most importantly, we had to add some particles just to make the dopamine go yes! I started working on monster scaling, monster spawning, critical hits, progression multipliers, and a trillion boring things you don't want to hear about because it's just code doing stuff behind the scenes. I programmed for days, nay weeks. I worked 28-hour shifts. I spent years on researching the most complex programming matters. Elon Musk offered me a job, but I kindly declined as I'm pro climate change, because everyone will sit inside playing games when it's too hot outside. And so, the master becomes the master's master. The result? Well, look for yourself. Now that's all I did for the first 2.5 days or so. You'll see the rest of the progress in the next video coming up soon. Thank you for watching, don't forget to like the video and comment what you want to see in the game, and I will see you next time.
We got a #1 victory royale, yeah, Fortnite we bout to get down.